Hey yo,
What's up?
I am here to make a list of prompts and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. It's prep school, baby.
Woo!
I'm tired as fuck. Oh look who's here. Oh look who's here.
Hey,
Beard,
I drop in for a wee bit.
Beard. Beardly, how are you, my friend?
So good.
Can I point something out real quick?
I'd love for you to point something out real quick.
This is absolutely wonderful.
That's so good.
It's
That is amazing.
all the articulation on this little guy. That's just he's just so good, Matt. I mean, the legs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articulation points just on the back leg. It's got 2 sweet boy heads. I don't even know. But before I interrupted you, Beard, how are you?
I'm great. Can I share something very funny?
Of course.
Uh,
Whatever you want.
this is my normal size phone,
Yeah.
and
Hell yeah.
I just like to say that one of the things I always find very funny is when my mom asks me for help with her iPhone, and I say, "Mom, I haven't had an iPhone since I lived on the Gulf Coast, and I didn't even have it for the whole time I was there. So I probably stopped using it in, I don't know, 2008. I found said iPhone. It is as thick as my current phone. This is my phone with a protector on it. So it is thicker than my phone, and it is
Double
also
T.
so tiny.
Mickey
So when
Steamboat.
she asks for help, I sometimes just have to say, "Mom, I haven't owned an iPhone in probably, I don't know, a decade and a half." Your son used to work at Apple, so maybe ask him. Considering my hand is bigger than this phone.
Oh man, people came for the beard.
Yo, what's up, gang? Anyway, I just thought this was so funny. It's like, and it's not even like the full screen. It's like, it's got like a 1-inch band on the top and the bottom. So I'd say the screen itself is maybe only, I don't know, charitably like a 3-inch diagonal screen. So,
well, bombs to you both this morning.
Yes.
I love the fact that makes Matt giggle every time, no matter what.
Enjoy it every
off,
time.
no matter what happens. All right. Whew. Man, yesterday.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. My mother-in-law at the end, though, she was just like, when everyone else was gone and we were getting ready to leave, she was just like, "I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't realize there would be that many people here, and I was not happy."
Wouldn't have come if I knew that.
I mean, I don't know how I would have got around it. It's his fucking graduation party.
Yeah. You know what you do? You just say, "Hey, why don't you go graduate again?"
I didn't want to break his heart over it. I mean,
graduate me once, fool on me.
Yeah.
Graduate me twice.
It was
not going to graduate me again.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Although my stepnephew and his roommate, I don't know. I asked his dad, I was like, "Are they dating?" I mean, they've been roommates for a long time. And he's like, he adamantly says they're not dating. I was like, that's just weird. And I mean, not in a bad way. It's just odd. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't get it." So she brought homemade egg rolls. She's Laotian. And see, my brother-in-law is Korean, but was adopted. So lived in redneck ass Minnesota. So it's super funny. He takes that sleeves are optional thing to the nth degree.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah. And his
That's some good stuff.
son grew up here,
Mhm.
and his daughter chose to stay down south with the mother. His mom is a fucking shit show. But the son is like one of the best. Like growing up, going through high school, stuff, I was just like, your kid is fucking awesome. He's like really, really just a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yesterday he got drunk in front of us for the first time, and it was hilarious. So he got real lippy. It was really funny.
Amazing.
Anyway, um, they make prompts today.
All right.
So like, I guess like what I'm looking for is like one sentence prompt with chaos scar. So when I'm running into these situations now where I want to run it with no less than 4 people, but then I've got 3 people who want to play all the time, and I don't want to let them down because
Mm.
don't show up or whatever. Because I've had a lot of that lately where people will be like, "Hey, I want to do this thing. I'll be there. I swear to God, I'll be there," and then they don't show up.
Ugh.
And it's just been a rash of it. And I would normally get real pissed off about it, and I'd be like, "These motherfuckers." But they're good people, the people I like a lot, and I think it's just life is busy. So I'm trying to be mature and be like, "Hey, man, it's cool that you want to do this stuff. It sucks that you are like, I'm going to be there, and then you're not there, but I'm not going to get like pissy about it anymore. It's too tiring." Aw. Whoa, that's wild, Molotov. That's wild.
Huh.
Yeah, I constantly, I'm just like, you're the most redneck Korean person I've ever met, which is not saying a lot because I don't know very many Korean people. But his roommate is hardcore. Like, she grew up in that family, and like at one point something was said about like apparently they make Laotian pho every Sunday, and something was said about Vietnamese pho, and she went on like a 10-minute rant about fuck the Vietnamese. It was kind of amazing. So it reminded me of my sister's Mexican family. Or she would refer to them sometimes as her true family. And when she lived in San Francisco for like 15 years, and her Mexican brothers, which were her real brothers. And how one of the brothers was dating a girl from Guatemala, and how the entire family was just like shitting on everyone that was not Mexican, like Colombian, Guatemalans, Venezuelans. They were all like she was like, the amount of racism in that room was outstanding. I was like, that's really funny. We've got like a part of our family that's Hispanic, and like I don't ever remember hearing them shit on. And she's like, those are Kansas Mexicans. They only know other Mexicans.
Yeah, that's
We
just
don't have the innate racism of Central America versus South America racism.
that's just you, Ben, her fake brother.
Yeah, I have a picture somewhere. I wish I could find it. It's a picture of her, and she has a shirt on that says "Kiss Me, I'm Mexican," and they're standing like both beside her with their arms around her, and they have shirts on that say "Kiss Me, I'm Irish." And it's one of the most fucking wholesome things ever. I've only met them once, and they were just the best. They were so nice. Oh, yeah, that's always rough, man. Like, I know you from somewhere. Oh, it's from a funeral. That's great. Oh, well, dude, you're always welcome. That's what we try to do. Mitch showed up on Friday night, and I felt so bad because he was like, we were wrapping up, and he was like, just like as talkative as Mitch gets. And I was like, Mitch, can we just make a time for us to just do a Mitch stream so we can just talk about D&D with you?
Yeah, he and I had a good catch up, and he had asked me for the invite to the known world server, and I was like, yes, absolutely.
Oh, for Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, or Discord. What did I say?
Server, I think.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, sure, it is
Same difference.
yeah.
So quick question, Robert, because I have to ask. Because if I didn't, I would hate myself. Um, are you monsterologist?
Monsterologist.
Because Dave sent me said, "Hey, Robert, Robert." He gave me your last name, but I'm not just going to blurt it out. Sent me this thing, and he wanted you. He sent me his website with all of his cool cryptid art and like patches and posters and shirt. I mean, like all this amazing artwork.
Robert is Robert Enzo, who does.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah.
So I just want to use Robert's last name because you know.
It's all right.
Yeah, Robert, your shit is amazing. Like I have shown it to every one of my cryptid boys. There's that was the website it was on. There was a Frankenstein black and white print on there that was just like, even my wife was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking amazing." But yeah, it was great. It was really great. Thank you. All right, so prompts, baby.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing before we get into prompts. I want to. Ooh, nice. I want to offer the opportunity to do at least an every 2-week Crafty Boy stream.
Yeah.
But I want it to be on that server I'm getting ready for Extra Life. So it's just a build.
Okay.
So everyone can just go buck wild and build in that. And we can have like stuff ready for Extra Life.
I would commit to that.
Okay. Will you let me know what days work best?
I want to say, I mean,
don't tell me now, because I won't.
No, I want to say I'm just trying to think, because I'm trying to think of like when we have G and when my wife has class. But then some of that overlap.
Your wife's always got class.
Yeah, it's more like figuring out days that I know that I can commit to. But I'm trying to think. You guys do Tiny Mang.
Oh, Robert, every other Tuesday.
You guys do, or you guys do Mang on every other Tuesday,
Yeah,
right?
Mang on Mang. It's every other Tuesday. So like last week it was Mang on Mang.
Yeah, and then is there something this Tuesday or no?
No.
Yeah,
this Thursday is FK Spooky
Pet, Robert, just for reasons.
Well, I would say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday tend to be the best, and Monday, Tuesday tend to be the best like throughout the school year.
Well, you can plan on doing it on the off weeks of
off Tuesdays.
Mang, yeah. I mean, we could do it as early as this Tuesday if you really want to, but I mean,
yeah. Let me see. Let me bring up.
Well, just let me know. I want to put out a clarion call in the Crafting Kids Discord. And be like, hey, whoever wants in, we're just gonna go in different directions, and we're just gonna build in creative mode.
Gotcha.
And no rules, whatever style, whatever. I mean, I kind of want it to be a surprise, and then we can just flip around on the camera and show what people are working on.
Oh, okay. I can't do it this Tuesday because I have D&D.
That's fine. I can't.
Oh, but then are we going to be off? Are we going to be? Okay, we may be off sequence then, because I think I have D&D on the nights that you guys are off, and then you have Mang on the Tuesdays that I'm off.
You do Wednesdays.
Wednesday's tough because we typically have G and Sarah has class. So I have to pick her up, and get her to bed. So I would say
I would say just for like an hour. If she wants to help. I mean, I'd be all down for that. 7 to 8.
Yeah, I'll see what those Wednesdays look like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll see. I'll look at the schedule and talk to Sarah and see what's going on.
Okay. I might do it this Tuesday anyway, just to get like started on it.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to, yeah, okay.
I have not. I think I have to do the update, but I mean, I don't think it's.
Yeah, you haven't updated for a couple updates. I think you're still on 120.4, and they uploaded to 120.1. So yeah, we can't even access your realm right now.
Oh well,
it's a big red light.
It's a big red light.
Yeah, Sting says you don't have to turn on the red light, but
Sting lies.
Microsoft no thinks so. Sting never had to make Microsoft updates, you know. Just saying.
I will do that as soon as I can get.
Oh, there we are. Hello.
Hey boys.
Hey boys.
I'm trying to get it to open right now, but it's
also you'll have to see we Doug and I built a iron golem farm, and it's aesthetic as F. And then Doug went in and made the little tweaks because like I found it and I really liked it because it was in like a spruce aesthetic, and like I don't want to make any farms in that realm that like David and I ran for the Extra Life stream. Like I want it all to like fit into the village and not just be like some weird thing in the sky. So we did it, and then I realized that like the guy who built it was like, yeah, so as things have like, you know, people have been like, oh, this doesn't work in Java, or this doesn't work in Bedrock. Here's like the updated version. And I was like, son of a. Because
I do love these little armadillo boys.
I do too. Doug like went down in the caverns and like lured a zombie up, and I got like 3 villagers up there on rails, and we were using like levers and like pistons to get them up the like grade changes, and we got them all in there, and we like started up, and like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like set my guy there and like run upstairs and like do some dishes, and I'll come back and see like how much iron we got. And I come back down and there's an iron golem in there, and the zombie's dead, little zombie flesh just floating in midair, and I was like, So Doug went in and made the update, and it's been working ever since. So
I hate this whole thing.
I think that once you go in, it'll prompt you to update.
Yeah, I'll have to fiddle with this afterwards, but I want to get it. I got props. Gee, many Christmas.
Props.
Also, I have a pile of, not a pile. I've got a couple trades and a pile of just, right, it's like a small pile of comics. So,
oh yeah, there was one I was going to nab from you. I can't remember what it was.
It was either JSA 1 or I had a FF trade in there too that I had to double up.
I think it was FF because I have the whole JSA. I have like the big honkin'.
And then I have the White Doom.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna get.
Okay, yeah, it's still in the box. So
that would be sick.
Yeah, I was like,
I can offer you trade for my tower.
I'm not doing my blood You do have a tower going. I would add in a box on my stuff.
Yeah. On Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get through everything on Tuesday, but I did just do it Friday because I was just like, I'm tired of feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And I took the 2 Masterverse figures apart, and now you have 2 bodies.
Okay.
And then I mean, I guess you can call it putting this together, but it's not really putting anything together because I mean,
oh, nice.
You didn't even have to put stickers on it. Also, this little boy, this is great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, since classic, so the scale on that's been real funky.
Yeah, the scale's a little weird, but I mean,
it's like you know, is this a computer for ants?
It's a squatty computer. It's a squat down.
Oh no!
And then I put together. It's way back there. I don't know if you can even see it because that wall's not done yet at all. But back in the alcove, I put together the.
Oh no!
Oh, nice.
The CGI Grayskull. I said to Cassandra, go back in and put the stickers in. Because I'm not fiddling with that tiny ass shit. You know me, I'm not a tiny
no eyes, no stickers, no stems, no steeds, no sticks.
I can't. My hands, these hands They're just too big and too much damage to them.
Too big.
But
too
I'm impressed with that Castle Grayskull. It's quite stunningly cool. There is a plethora of neat stuff in there.
Nice.
I very much am impressed with it. So yeah, I did that. But all right, prompts, I guess.
All right, I've got one.
Ooh.
Traveling salesman comes to town.
Okay, hit me, baby, one more time.
Traveling salesman comes to town.
Sure.
Caveat: loosely based on the Music Man, but dark. Starts to sell instruments to kids. They're cursed. You said one sentence. That's it.
Well, it could be a little bit longer, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my one sentence. It's just Music Man, but dark. Like they could start taking over the kids. They could start stealing their life essence. He could be a lich. I don't know. He could be a necromancer.
What if all of the instruments summoned vermin?
Yeah.
So like a reverse
Pied Piper.
Pied Piper, yeah.
The reverse Piper.
Reverse Piper.
And for once, it's not us talking about wrestling.
I gave a girl a reverse Piper in college.
No.
But I pulled my groin and I was laid up for at least a week.
That's
just when I thought I knew all the answers.
On the top.
Just when I thought I knew all the answers, she changed the questions on me.
That's kilt on top and leather jacket on bottom. Right?
Flannel shirt, leather diaper.
Yeah. Flannel shirt, tied around the head.
Woo! With the opposite of sexual abuse. All right. That's really good. I love that. I love it, James. I love that for you, James.
I've been thinking a lot about like inverted scenarios. Like I also really like.
I don't think I've seen the Music Man in like since we saw it live. I just don't recall seeing it.
Oh, it's good. How dumb you got to be to sell curse instruments down the street from me. Real dumb. That's why we got trouble right here in Restwell City.
What's
that rhymes with P that stands for?
What's this dude's name? What's this dude's name?
Oh, I think
Tommy Flanagan.
Yeah, Berry Celebration probably.
Berry Celebration?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, that's such a good name.
Thank you.
When Barry comes to town.
Yeah. I also really like the scarred stranger that is like actually the nicest person in the world. There's nothing bad that happens. Everybody's just really scared of him, and you can build up a bunch of tension, and then like he like crafts.
That was also
very funny.
Oh God damn it! Joel put a great picture in the Star Wars chat. I found the Rebel base.
That's amazing.
All right, next. Oh, I read all 8 trades, thinking that's all the trades for American Vampire. No, I was wrong.
Oh yeah, I think there's more than that. We watched Near Dark last night. That was good.
Oh, such a good flick.
I didn't know it was on Tubi. So.
Yeah, had you seen it before?
No, I'd just been reading some stuff, and I was like, yeah, we got.
Bill Paxton is wild in that movie.
He sure is.
And of course, it's got Lance Hendrickson, so I mean,
it's
gonna be good. It's like it is like I think maybe the best purely American aesthetic vampire movie. Even better than like
John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah. I think that movie too. I don't think I disliked that movie until I think I was always kind of iffy on it, and then James Wood turns out to be a fucking giant bag, and then that like completely made me go fuck this movie. No, I'm thinking of Fright Night. Fright Night's great. Fright Night 2 is like super underrated but I still think Near Dark has like the vibe that not many other movies can touch. Like that's pure, like a pure American vibe, I guess. Salem's Lot, I think though too. Ooh. Man, you could do a triple feature of those three movies, and I don't know if you could find three better.
Where does Lost Boys?
Vampire. I'm not the biggest Lost Boys fan. It's really good. It's just not. It was a movie that was never like for me, I guess. I was always like, oh, this is okay. I think it's a little too.
And I haven't seen it. So.
You've never seen Lost Boys?
There's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
It's worth watching for sure.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Have you seen Salem's Lot?
No, I've not seen Salem's Lot.
You gotta watch Salem's Lot. Especially because it was a TV movie, and you're like, how the fuck did they get away with this? And the remake they did in the 2000s with Rob Lowe and oh god, I can't think of the Andre Braugher. And there's a lot of other really good actors in that. Is also, I think it's closer to the book, which I love the book. Rutger Hauer is in it. It's closer to the book, but there's something about that 70s Toby Hooper TV movie.
Yeah.
The little kids at the window thing is the scariest shit ever. I remember seeing that and being just fucking terrified when they're just like touching the window and they're like, let us in. And you're like, do not let them in. Do not let them in. I don't know. Super young Bonnie Bedelia is in that movie. It's really good. All right. Next up.
A bell begins to sound throughout the town at noon and midnight every day. There is no chapel in the town. They don't know where the bell's coming from.
But see, there's like 4 religious places in the town.
A bell begins to sound throughout the town at noon and midnight every day. It's not coming from one of the 4 religious centers in town.
After a... What's it called when there's no moon? Is that a new moon?
I don't know. No, no
sure.
moon.
I don't know.
Oh,
yes.
New moon?
Sure. Yeah.
After a new moon, there begins to be a... How many tolls? Just one toll?
I think either for a minute or it's 12.
12.
Or 13. Ooh, spooky.
Oh, that's good. 13.
Or every day another
one
more time.
At 12 p.m. and 12 a.m. The tolling cannot be currently traced to a location. I like that.
Thanks.
Beard, you're just knocking these out.
You need random stuff? I got you.
I don't know how this would. Yeah, you might have to, spitball a bit here, but for whatever reason, because we were talking about Lance Henriksen, and I was talking about this yesterday with Danny, but
how amazing Lance Henriksen is.
Of like, you could do like Quick and the Dead, but with wizards, maybe.
Oh fuck yes! I love that. I've had that idea a couple times, but I've never gone through it. I love that idea. What would we quicken the Dead, I guess.
Yeah.
I need another town. west of Berwich, a small town has begun to flourish around a newly constructed Wizards Tower. This particular wizard, what would his wizard's name be? Lance Hendrickson?
Well, Lance Henriksen's character in that was actually a fraud, but because that was
That's right.
that was
Because Gene Hackman shoots
Gene
the shit
Hackman.
out of him.
Heen Gackman.
Mm-mm.
Ian Beckman?
Heen Gackman.
I like Heen, like
Yeah.
H-I-N.
He was Herod in the because he was the mayor, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That was also very, very young.
Leonardo
Leo.
DiCaprio.
Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio.
To all
And
the
Russell
Just a little boy.
before he went fighting around the world. Wizards, and inviting them to, what would you call that? Like a series of duels? Is there a name for that?
In the movie, it was a quick draw tournament, but I think you're just having like a dueling tournament if you're talking about wizards, like wands and shit, right? Dueling competition. That really had the most incredible cast.
Yeah, it's a Sam Raimi flick, and it's shot amazing as well.
Right, because like Russell Crowe was in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keith David was in that.
Yep.
Gary Sinise was in that.
Oh God, I forgot Gary Sinise was in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in much of it, but he's there.
No. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I'm just looking at the cast, and it's just insane. Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. That doesn't feel like I spelled that right, but apparently I did. What would the town be called if it's a town like that's around this dude, Hein Veckman?
I think you should name it after Lance Henriksen's character and call it Hamlin.
I'm not calling it. That's a good one. Hamlin's actually sounds like a really good.
Hanlon. So,
I would just make it land instead of land.
Yeah.
I knew I spelled that wrong.
The town in the movie is Redemption.
Yeah.
How about Highland Falls? And we got the mythology being that Hein Veckman was Heinland's apprentice, and he killed him and took over basically after the tower was built.
Whoa.
He gunned him down in the street like a dog. I thought about calling it just quick Super Spike, but I think that's a little. What the PCs don't know is Veckman is able to pull the innate magic off of any caster killed in his little tournament.
Yeah.
What was the thing called in Temple of Tomb of Annihilation? What was the big machine called in Tomb of Annihilation? Yeah, but what was Asarak building? I don't need to know that it was Asarak. I knew it was Asarak, son. I didn't know what it was called. Wouldn't be a phylactery. What if it was a phylactery? What if Hein Veckman was trying to become a lich?
Oh.
But he was using these dudes to I'll have to think about this, but yeah, I like a And magic off any caster killed in his little tournament via his phylactery engine. He is planning on eventually using this to become a lich.
Man, you could have a rival to him working across town in a sweatshop phylactery. He's trying to do it the old-fashioned way.
It's like, I'm just going to murder a whole bunch of people and then become a lich now, man. Like, you're making this shit too complicated. That was my plan. That's definitely Super Spike. That's definitely the plan.
Well, yeah, you gotta have a character like Lance Hendrickson's, where he's like, everybody's like, oh shit, that's so and so, and then when the time comes, like, he can't do shit. He's just he has no magic.
A massive herd of jackalopes are spotted during their rutting season, making a beeline towards Burwich. I love the idea of angry magical bunnies with antlers in a herd. Where it's like, yeah, one of these maybe not too bad. They're kind of a pain in the ass, but like thousands of them. Because I can't remember what a jackalope is in 5e. What they can do. Charge, evasion. Oh, they love whiskey, which is kind of fucking awesome.
Wait, jackalopes do?
They do, and they're a CR4. Holy shit! And they can mimic sounds.
Oh wow!
They are. This is kind of became a super threat now, which is kind of great. I think the charlatan would have to be a bard. This is a huge threat to the bootleggers in the wood, the nearby wood, who have been stewing up some prime rye whiskey. All right, what else we got? What else you got for me, boys? Let me mine all your ideas. Set the fish in the background. Oh damn, that's awesome. Maybe that'll be what it's like. That's an interesting idea, Super Spike. This idea of it like being. Although I might want to say that for playing Gia. That's cool. I really dig that. In that same wood, there is a overgrown statue of the great white hare, which used to be revered by a local what do they call it? Coven of Witches. Unfortunately, it has also, it is where the bootleggers are doing their, have said they're still.
The Molotov's got some going here too in the chat.
Got something stewing. Oh man, sorry.
Oh no, he's
Yeah, that's
oh, that's good. I like that.
oh yeah. I think if we weren't in the middle of something and I was trying to start a campaign, I'd love that. Or even if they flip it, like the fields have to remain fallow. Like if all of that shit comes, well, if all that shit came back, then like that's part of a oh, what am I trying to say here? That's all part of a prophecy that will step toward like this horrific end. So the people are like, oh, we can't have, this is why we can't have nice things. Knowledge of the artifacts there again.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah.
You could use that as like a catch-all sort of like if you just need a thing, it's like, oh yeah, the king or whoever has like reached out and wants you to go get this thing, and then you build it over time, you know.
Why is it floating, Super Spike?
You got to figure that out.
God damn you. The floating impregnable fortress of Dib. For some strange, undetermined reason, the fortress of Dib begins to float. So the people of Dib call the Finders Guild for help. Oof.
Or maybe they're glad about it floating, and somebody else is worried about it. It's like, you guys got to go check this out. This thing should not be flying
due to them digging into a veil leading into the Feywild that has upset a Fey power. I don't know.
You gotta go up a little bit.
I didn't get all this.
Lot going on.
Interesting. I've got something like that if we get 4 players tomorrow. I have a ghost thing that's got possession involved, so I don't want to hit them with that too much because, man, players do not like when they don't have control over their bodies. It is not a fun experience generally. They tend to get pretty testy about it.
So yeah, the one I've got is some like ancient armor is unearthed.
Molotov, you have a whole campaign there.
Yes.
Like absolutely. You should run that. That's really, really solid. It's very good. All right, go ahead, Matt.
So
might
ancient
try to steal
armor
some points
is
then.
unearthed,
Okay.
and when it draws blood accidentally, it comes to life.
Oh,
It starts moving towards, I guess Berwich or wherever you want to go.
how about this? If that armor comes to life, it heads directly for Restwell because it's inhabited by the person who built the OG Restwell. So it wants its fucking throne back.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah, so like, so
the
while somebody's messing around with it or whatever,
did
they just
uncover
they
a
just get a cut and it drips blood on there, and all of a sudden this thing is like, oh, here we go.
Armor. Once human blood touches it, the armor comes to life, inhabited by gotta think of a good name for this character without having a name. It needs to be like the blankety blank. The oh shit. I fucked that up, huh? King of Toil, who oversaw the construction of the original Restwell keep prior to the Chaos Scar event. They will then become an unstoppable force. Use a Marut stat block. Heading directly for the seat of power and the keep, looking to kill the current ruler and reassert their rule.
I mean, that is a great. I love that concept, Molotov, that bounty hunter concept.
What's a bounty hunter one? Marvel's Grey Crow, make his weapons from bits of his body. I'm trying to think if there is a thing in D&D that has that kit. Maybe a Warforged.
Yeah.
So they're strolling into Restwell for what though? What's their reasoning for? Are they just going? Are they chasing chasing a prisoner who escaped and is going into the Chaos Scar to try to hide? Are they?
Or is there like a class? Like, is there anybody who could or anything that would make? I'm almost thinking like Marrow from the X-Men, where they could just pull parts of their body out and turn them into weapons.
I mean, there's the plasmoids that are just like goo people.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think it would be better if it was like a human who just reaches in and pulls out a bone or something, but it's not as in a world where there's already weapons and shit. I don't know how important that is.
I like that idea though of them being, they could be a tiefling who can't touch metal.
Yeah.
So maybe they are like, I'm thinking of the Dave Gross Pathfinder books with Radovan and Count Jaeger, where Radovan is basically Jaeger's Dr. Watson if Dr. Watson was a fiendish Wolverine. Where his blades are like made from bone for the most part because metal does not get along with his. Bye, Beard.
I'll be heading out in about 10 myself.
Bye, homie. Tell the fam I said hi. Tell the doggos I love them.
Bye.
Enjoy the day, buddy.
I like the bounty hunter idea a lot. I'm just trying to think how to tie it.
Right.
Could be a revenant, which is an undead person who has a task to fulfill.
Oh?
So then it's figuring out their task. Because then they're basically Jason Voorhees, to a degree. Which kind of like the Terminator, he will not stop.
Right. Well,
Cannot be
okay.
raised
So
away.
how, so their deal is, what if it was, their task was weirdly broad? So they're, it's not like I need to kill this specific person. It was like their task is I need to achieve a specific rank in the bounty hunter guild or something.
With a revenant, it's always like they have to. It's about like killing something.
Okay.
So I think if it was a different type of ghost, you can kind of look. You can
kind of tweak
different. It. Yeah. Right. I mean, not to say we can't just do whatever we want.
Well, sure.
I do it all the time. Could it be possibly like this revenant is doing the opposite of the Frighteners thing, or he got 23, you tell him I got 25. The Gary Busey's character, I can't even think of who the real serial killer was they were talking about. I got me a score of 25. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen the Frighteners.
Oh God, it's so fucking good. Starkweather got 23. I got 25. I'll see you in hell. I got me a score 25. Okay. We gotta think of a name for it too. But until then,
see, now I just want there to be a version of the Marvel character Terror.
Yeah, I do like the Terror.
Where, it's like, oh yeah, I can just take this body part and get its abilities.
Her grandfather's bounty toll. However, while hunting down a slick ne'er-do-well, I think it's how you say that. It's all that.
Yes.
Let's not have the apostrophe in it. Oh, it's got hyphens. Okay, good for you. Bushwhacked and killed. So full of rage and shame, she has risen as a revenant, looking to fill her bounty book with at least one more mark than her grandfather. The problem is in her current state, she views almost anything as a killable offense. An unnamed party six her, I think it's just a C, isn't it?
Yes.
Her on the Finders Guild with a bounty. I like that idea of like they have someone who's like, oh, there's this person who would just take out anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're really hard to kill. Well, just send them after the PCs. Gotta think of a good name for it though. For a few bounties more, which is sad because I've already used that in a extra life like 6 years ago or something. I was called for a few graves more, where all the PCs started the game buried, and they thought they got buried alive. They were all dead.
Nice.
So they had to like come to the fact where they'd all been killed, and then they like had to also complete this thing so they could just move on. Which is not an original idea. I stole it from a second edition Ravenloft module that I played in, which was great because we all died due to a necromantic atomic bomb going off because one of the domain lords was trying to go back to the prime material plane by killing everyone in their domain with this WMD. And the problem is they didn't kill everybody. It just turned them into undead. So in this absence, the undead just formed a new country. So the PCs wake up as you know, you rolled randomly to figure out what kind of undead you were, which was super cool. And eventually we were able to come back. But we played as undead for probably 8 months. Probably 10 sessions, 12 sessions. So now some NPCs just were like, I don't see a problem with this. Like my life was miserable. And now we went from being in under a tyrant to now being in a democratic undead state. You know, basically we're in a collectivism state now. Which I was like, that's really kind of wild. All right. Anything else we can think of? I know you gotta leave here probably now.
Pretty quick here, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's a good
Molotov. You brought the heat. I kind of want to figure out how to pull something from. I mean, God, you wrote a whole campaign, which is wild. As far as magic items, and I've tried to get Beard to do this in 2 campaigns now. I was like, I just want you to come in and guest star, and you are the sentient magic weapon. So the person doesn't matter. You're just a magic weapon who just I just take this person over and they use them until either I'm done with them or they're done with me, and then I move on. Kind of like Stormbringer, except for not a sword of pure chaos wanting to kill everything. But we haven't held match our schedules up at all. And also, I really like you guys giving me ideas because I do have a default setting of horror, and I'm trying not to do that. And I put some horror in Star Wars last week, but it was like background horror, and they did not like that. They were all like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." Colin was beat up real bad, and they met a shystery doctor who was like, I made a something better than back to TM called Bombus. And he took it, and what they didn't realize is it was runoff blood from Jendai. And the Jendai who it's from showed up at the end and like was like went up to Colin's character, and the blood like was moving inside them. And they were like, "Oh shit, this person's gonna rip me apart from the inside out." And they were basically were like, they're that Jendai is so beat up that they basically are super TBI. Like they're realizing like, oh, it's time for me to die. But they also are like, they have I'm not sure how, I mean, it's never been stated in Star Wars how Jendai reproduce. So I'm thinking they just reproduce by like splitting. Like a part of their body off and regrows. So this Jendai, the matron, I think you were in that group.
Yeah.
That it's the same Jendai.
Oh.
And they're like, can smell the matron.
Oh.
And they're like, I know who you are, type of thing. And they're like, I want you to do this for me. And she's like, why? And she's like, because your son was capable. Like you almost killed me. Yeah. So I'm going to, and I kept the death's head thing of yes at the end of every sentence. Yeah. Which is unnerving as fuck when you use it well. Because I don't ever go yes. I'm like yes or yes. So it was really unnerving for the PCs, which I loved. And the fact that Shan like was like, oh fuck, I know this person. It was like, yes, you do. And also just play up the fact that they were being experimented on by choice. By the Arcanian clone masters. Oh. And like, because they were like, oh, can we figure out, like, we'll give you all this stuff. And then if you let us use your body to try to like figure out like how to improve our clones or shaken, not stirred clones.
Right.
Because the Arcanians were kind of like the big cloners before the Kaminoans. And they're still around. So when Nyx sees the matron, it's like Nyx is like basically just a big blob of tissue, and like eyes formed out of it and looked directly at her as they were walking by in this hallway. And she was like, why is that thing looking at me? Then a mouth forms. And then it just, so the matron and Draz are trying to steal our Arconians have a Kaminoan scientist in carbonite as like a trophy type of thing. Oh. And they're there to steal that for Cal Sclerata, who is Ed Harris Mandalorian who helped train the clone troopers.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I need that because I'll unfreeze them. Oh, I hate the Kaminoans, but I'll unfreeze them, and I'm gonna make sure that they figure out how to relock the clones' aging process so they don't age super fast. Because he adopts a bunch of the clones. I think that's all canon now.
I think so. Yeah,
as like his kids, and treats them like Mandalorians. Cal Sclerata is really cool because he's like he and Jango were not buddies; they were rivals. And that's why Jango went to him, because he was like, oh, no one is I trust more to not trust than you, which is what I want the clones to be able to be.
Yeah.
Is like soldiers who can think for themselves and aren't blindly obedient. So so by the end of it, she helps them steal that, kills like everybody in this Arcanian clone master's like office. Because the whole thing, the place they're at is at Lost and Found, where there's no blasters or anything. Everyone gets a ceremonial vibroblade when they go in.
Yes.
So they have to, because at one point, Matron was like, well, I'll just pull out my gun and start shooting these people. I was like, you don't have a gun. And she was like, motherfuck, I have a knife, don't I? I was like, you do have a knife. Same thing with Colin. Colin was like, well, I'll just garrot this person's neck. I'm like, you don't have a garrote. You have a knife. And he was like, God damn it. I was like, it's a little bit different. You have to kill somebody face to face than it is when you can sneak up behind him and choke him to death. Especially when this person has been nice to you, and we had to give him a name of Timu Alibaba because he's like, this real shady dude selling Jendai blood as Bombus. So by the end, Nyx was like, I'm going with you, and then you will watch my spawn and after I give you my spawn, you will raise my spawn because I know you'll keep your word, and then I'm going off to my glorious death. And they were like, okay, and they're all just terrified of this character. Like they watch him at one point like turn into a blob on the ground on top of this armor and then reform themselves into the armor. And they're like, I don't like this at all. So it's like what's that game I used to play? It's on Steam. I should just look really quick. There is a game on Steam where you play as a flesh blob that eats scientists. It's very much got the Thing vibe to it. I think it starts with a C. God, I want to find it really fast. It's not. Second, doesn't give me a second. I haven't played it in a while. It's like a kind of a side scrolly thing. Carrion. It's called Carrion. Highly recommend it. It's super fun. You are literally the Thing. You are the blob. And the more people you eat, the bigger you get. And then at times, like if you're worried about getting like those spots where you're too big to go through, so you can leave like part of your body in like a sack, hidden sack, so you can go back and get big again whenever you want. Because your powers change based upon like how big you are. So yeah. I thought about Space Worms. I've done Space Worms before, though. I know there's those Brain Worms in a Clone Wars episode. I thought about maybe revisiting that, but some of the players I think would remember that because it wasn't terribly long ago. But that was funny. I had to bring that character back, and I was like, oh, man, I think Matt played in that game. So, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah. So I can give you one last prompt if you want it.
Matt, I always want your prompts.
All right. So the ruler of wherever you want to go with has fallen in love and is going to marry a commoner.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about this.
I don't know how it works with your. It could be a different area.
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe somebody from Burwitch catches.
Yeah, so it's like they're gonna marry a commoner, but over the last however many hundreds of years, every time there's a curse, supposedly. So whenever they're not allowed to do that, and if they do, this person always meets a terrible end.
See, that'll be difficult because the whole thing about Restwell Keep and the Chaos Scar is like Restwell Keep's been occupied by like all kinds of different groups and always been driven out. And this paladin shows up with an army and takes it over.
Okay.
And he's a paladin of Arathis, which is like the goddess of civilization. Okay. And he's like, I'm going to push civilization into the Chaos Scar. But I like the idea of Drysdale falling for someone from like Burwitch or someone who turns out to not be who they seem.
Well, yeah. So what I had was that there's this supposed curse that will kill this, whoever this person that they've fallen for, if they do marry them. And then you can either go with like, oh yeah, it's a legit curse that somebody put in place, or it's just like it's some Scooby-Doo type shit where it's like an advisor or somebody saying, maybe there isn't actually a curse. Maybe that like this advisor, whatever, just like tells this person, yeah, he didn't want to tell you because he didn't want to scare you because he cares about you, but there's a fucking curse on you and you will die if you marry him. You need to call this off. And it turns out that it's just the advisor trying to like put the kibosh on things, either out of misguided, like, well, no, this is going to wreck things if this ruler like marries a commoner, or maybe it's for their own, like they're trying to gain power.
What if so? Drysdale drove out a group who controlled the area called the, I think they were called the Six. I can't recall for sure now. What if so? Falls in love with a young man who is coming through on a caravan. Rumors swell through the outer Bailey, because remember, Drysdale controls the inner Bailey, but the outer Bailey, he's like hands off, and the outer Bailey hates him because they all think like, oh, this guy's gonna push his religion on all of us. And when the Six were in control, they let the outer Bailey do whatever they want as long as they pay taxes.
Okay.
Because they were kind of like, they were hands off. They didn't really want to be rulers. They were just mercenary, not quite evil, but really close to just being flat out evil adventurers who just killed the dragon and took this place over. And then, a town, basically the people the dragon was using as like slaves and sycophants and stuff, they were like, well, we live here. And then the Six were like, we don't give a shit. Just don't cause any problems. So eventually the people in the outer Bailey almost looked at the Six like, oh, we like you. Like, you guys don't really want much of us. You protect this thing. So people in surrounding areas were like, oh, you're protected there? So that's how the town like kind of swole inside the outer Bailey. And then Drysdale comes in and just runs them out. And they're like, oh, great, a zealot. Who's like, no, I'm good. And they're like, yeah, you just marched here with an army. Fuck off. And you're like big on religion. We already have religions here and they get along. Like, your religion is, no, we do not want you here. About this, I can't think of her name. Hold on a second. Let me grab it. My thing about B. Kioskar. Notes. Okay. What if he's young? I'm looking for someone who's a little older. The PC's like Gelda a lot because she's an old lady and she's mouthy. I'm thinking like maybe Gelda is the one who's like, oh, fucking, like, there's a curse. Like, there's a reason that none of the Six took spouses.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of like loving someone. It's a matter of like, consummating it with ceremony. And Drysdale's like, I have to do that. Otherwise, this is not looked upon by my God very well.
Okay. There you go.
Gelda actually goes to Garrick Blackcloak, who is the dude who's basically Drysdale's non-religious, like, military guy. He's like one of the only guys in his entire forces who's not a cleric, paladin, or even believer. He's just like a friend in military, like a general type of situation. So he actually engages with the town sometimes, with the outer Bailey. Through the PCs to inform them about the, what would we call that? What's something like to do with, like, I wouldn't kind of call it consummation. Would you consider that like when married, you're consummating something?
I'm gonna try and let's see here. I mean, it was the Zenith, the Pinnacle, Summit, Apex.
Consummation doesn't have anything to do with.
It's the last part of a process or action. So those are just some synonyms.
Curse of coupling, maybe? Trying to find something that like hits that can be held. So that's why I'm looking for something that has like that alliteration.
Ah, yes.
It could be about the curse, the malignant misery of matrimony.
Oh, there you go.
The ruler of Restwell can never have a legitimate how do I spell that, spouse due to this curse. If they take one, then one of them will die a gruesome and public death, which in turn will lead to the remaining lover to take their own life. So here's the thing. I love the idea of the Scooby-Doo thing you were just talking about. So I want it to actually be that. In reality, this is a farcical story, as Gelda is actually the great aunt of one of the six. They are feeding this to her to feed to Drysdale. Drysdale needs the ceremony and approval therein of Arathis to actually have his love recognized, and he is too pious to simply carry on a relationship outside those confines. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it'd be like, so like this stuff is trying to kill this, love, but it's all just, that make it look like a curse. It's accidents. Oh, this thing fell, and
I think even more so, hear me out, and you can, if you disagree, is that people that live in the Inner Bailey start to buy this, so they're purposefully like doing everything they can to make sure, like, oh no, you can't do this. Like, you literally can't do this. Like, you're married to Arathis.
Yeah.
You're married to the moment you took over as head of Restwell Keep, you have far gone. You can't do this. And this, that's the thing I've always tried to play Drysdale is like, the PCs don't trust Drysdale because the Outer Bailey doesn't trust that Drysdale. They've never met the man. Because he's too busy. They know Garrick Blackcloak, like they like Garrick. At one point, Garrick let them save face in front of the Outer Bailey by letting one of them knock him on his ass. He like leans in before it happens. He's like, make it look good. And they're like, what? And he's like, you have to hit me. So it looks like, you know, you all are standing with the Outer Bailey against the Inner Bailey. And they're like, but like, we like you. And he's like, doesn't matter. That's politics, baby. So they're like, oh, well, Garrick's fucking awesome. Like, why would he work for such a shitbag? And I keep like leaving things in to be like, well, maybe this guy isn't bad.
Yeah.
And but now because like all these other NPCs they know are like, no, that dude's bad. Like he's a fuckhead religious zealot. So now they're like, yeah, fuck that guy. I like the idea of humanizing someone, you know, who's like, I kind of look at Drysdale a little bit in the Conan mold of like, gets the throne and then realizes like, I did not want this.
Yeah.
Like I was on this holy crusade to go into this land that for like 1,000 years had been a wasteland, and reestablishing civilization out here, law and order, and, you know, building something after civilization was destroyed by this, you know, unnatural disaster. And then gets in charge and is like, I don't like this. Like, I'm much better about like being in front of the charge and like hyping up my troops because I believe in what I'm doing. But these people, they do not fucking want me here. Like they hate me. And no matter what I do, they hate me more. Like there's a thing in the actual adventure where it was setting all this up. Like, because those who don't know, I'm using a 4th edition like adventure path that was in like Dragon magazine, I think. Loose. I'm using it as like the loose basis. It talks about how like Garrick Blackcloak at one point stops troops from going into the Outer Bailey because they would go into the local taverns and drink, and it would cause brawls with the Outer Bailey folks. So he was like, no, you guys don't get to go to the Outer Bailey anymore. We don't send anybody into the Outer Bailey. Not because just because it causes too much problems. So we need these people to understand, like, we're here to help them, but our presence is not like, he's more like the hearts and minds thing, you know?
Yeah.
This is how you do this. You can't, we came in here with an army, and we're using an army to run drills inside the Inner Bailey, and we're sending out our army to deal with stuff in the area. So people are scared because in the Inner Bailey, there's a fucking army. Especially religious leaders are scared, and it doesn't help that one of the religious leaders is not who they say they are. It is a religious leader, but not for the God they say they are, and is pushing, like subtly pushing all these narratives. So yeah, I love this. This is honestly, and even the ones we just talked about, but didn't. Again, Molotov, you wrote a whole goddamn campaign.
Yeah, that's good.
You could run that campaign for like 2 years to see it all the way through. That's really, really good. The problem I have for this is I've already got like Chaos Scar. I think we've got like 13 episodes already. So that'd be hard to pull all that in and like backtrack it in. Someone said the other day, we've done on like 80 episodes of Down Outland.
Damn.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we only did like 20 episodes of Domains of Dread. So, yeah, bizarre. Anyway, I like this. I like doing these type of episodes. I kind of want to do some more of them. As you can see, like we started at the beginning, it was like 2-sentence prompts, and then you can just watch these paragraphs get bigger.
All right. Well, I am going to dip because I really have to go to the bathroom, but it has been a pleasure.
Matt, it's great to see you.
Yes, and we'll catch you next
hell
week.
Yeah.
And streams.
Go fuck that toilet up.
Oh my.
Go drop those power converters off at Tashi Station.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, Matthew. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are. You guys killed it today. You came up with some of the coolest stuff. If you've got other ideas, don't hesitate to throw them in the Discord. Maybe we'll do this again next week because I have the next D&O episode planned, and we're doing back-to-back weeks of D&O. Since I moved it from the beginning of the month just for this month, because of still trying to get all this shit sorted out. Yeah. If you got ideas, always toss them out there. If for nothing else, I mean, help refine them for yourself. Run. If you don't have access to books or whatever, reach out to me. I can help you out with that. Because God knows I do not mind sharing my Dropbox, and that's like 90% of it is like RPG shit. RPG shit and 3D printing files. So if anybody out there with a 3D printer wants to print shit, just reach out to me. All I ask is if you're going to do a bunch of it, be kind enough to mail me some stuff. Anyway, tomorrow night, Chaos Gar. I know we have 3 players confirmed. So if we don't get 4, I mean, I might just run the ghost thing regardless because I've had it written up for 2 months, 3 months now. But I like the idea of starting to have this prompt backlog. Because last month when I had to scramble and think of something off the top of my head, it turned out really good, but only because I've been thinking about the Vargalak and Boris Karloff. And then next Thursday is FKA Spoopy Boys. We're talking The Bay and Strangeland. They're both on YouTube. They're both faux documentary / found footage horror. Both are vastly underseen and underrated. Highly recommend them. They're both also wildly prescient with their current situations. One having to do with refugees coming over the border and some horrific shit happening, and the other one has to do with like the avoidance of FDA regulations and some shit goes down. They're both very, very inventive and very interesting. Like I said, I highly recommend them. Give them a watch. We'll talk about them on Thursday. I don't think I'm going to do Bad at Games this Friday. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this crafting thing this Tuesday night. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, trying to do some more stuff. I want to get the crafting. Like I said, if anyone is a Minecrafter and wants to get on to my realms and just build, reach out to me and I will hook you up there. Because I'm looking for as many builders as possible just to make cool shit for this Extra Life, upcoming Extra Life at the beginning of November. So, and I kind of think I want to build a modern city this time too, which I think will be pretty fun. I've never built one of those before. All right, that's all I got. And I'm going to go get ready for Doug to come over to watch some Mountain Monsters. And also we're going to do some lighting in the alcove. I got to figure out my castle situation. But like I said, back there, I got my 4 castles currently. They're not all going to stay up there. I have a big insert thing for Castle Grayskull that Hebrew, that I bought off of Hebrew. It's like for the inside. It's got like lighting and stuff like that. And I just bought some little light boys to put inside my castles, and then we're putting some light strips up around that whole setup. I want to like get to the point where I put up like a something around it, and then like almost like diorama style. But we'll see what happens. I make no promises. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for all your ideas. Thanks for, just you guys rule. Thank you to anyone who watches us in the future. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Do something nice for yourselves. Bombus to all, and to all a good bombus. Bye.